Zach Golden just purchased a film, and he's gonna tell you why.
There's so many layers to this film that it's easily one of the most meta movies of the 60s.
The Golden Collection, starring Zach Golden. Zach Golden has 2 cents, and you better believe he's gonna give them to you.
So if some pretentious film student who watched 10 minutes of The Godfather before switching to Captain Deadpool Brave New Morbius tries to tell you Mikey and Nicky is improvised, send them my way.
Zach Golden's The Golden Collection.
Hey, how you doing?
Busting is not a pretty word.
Sorry to have to tell you this, but you're under arrest.
Busting is not a pretty job. Busting won't win you any medals.
You sure there's no chance that you never heard her specifically say what she was going to do for the money?
Busting just might get you killed.
Okay, everybody cool it. Cool it, we're please.
Busting, it's the dirty work that has to be done. And it takes a special kind of cop to do it.
When I first watched Busting in January 2025, it instantly became one of my all-time favorites. It opened the door for me to find that grimy, corrupt buddy vice cop genre, the films like Freebie and the Bean or Hickey and Boggs. But what made this one stick wasn't just the electric, heart-pounding jazz funk score composed by Billy Goldenberg. And it wasn't only the hypnotic, natural performances from Elliott Gould and Robert Blake, Blake who would later headline Beretta, the series that, fittingly enough, shows him as an undercover cop. All of that is great, but the cherry on top is that this was Peter Hyams' feature debut. And if you know anything about me, I love me a good feature debut for a director. And you can feel it. He'd paid his dues doing television for years, and when you watch Busting, it's clear he's out to prove something. Like every action sequence feels like a statement. The set pieces, the stunt work, the performances, the restless camera. That's for by and large the entirety of the film is shot on this small doorway dolly, and it gives the film this sort of kinetic, street level immediacy. Like everything's constantly moving. You never know where it's gonna go. And the action doesn't just move, it burns into your memory. Hyams wasn't interested in delivering this tidy, efficient debut that checked all the right boxes and hit the, expected beats. From the moment Gould and Blake bust the $10 hooker to the chaos of that final car chase, he's demanding your attention, and he's announcing that he's not just some one-trick pony. And if you're a new filmmaker working from a spec script, I really think that Busting is a masterclass in mindset specifically. When you walk away watching Peter Hyams' Busting, you feel, there's this sort of pressure to be objective and algorithmic in everything that you do, but watch Peter Hyams' Busting and you'll be reminded that you really just need to freaking attack and own your style and own your voice.
I think you're vice cops.
Vice cops? What is it? Come around. Look, I don't want no trouble.
Their names are Keneely and Farrell.
I think you men are despicable. Oh, you're a Cub Scout, right?
Whether they're after a worthless punk.
I got a right to make a phone call. You don't got a right to breathe.
Or the king of $1 million empire.
Good evening, Mr. Dynamite. Very nice to see you.
The name of the game is still the same. Busting.
What's really funny is that you two guys really think you're doing something. You go around busting $10 hookers and beating up on punks for what? For $200 a week, right?
Rizzo, we're gonna close you down.
Yeah, I need a warrant. That creep back there's got a lot of dope.
I am not going to wake Judge Morrison at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Your Honor, there's clearly insufficient grounds here. I ask the case be dismissed.
Your request is granted.
I know some things stink. Well, what do you want me to do about it?
So you can give our deepest apologies to Mr. Rizzo, and you can give him a kiss on the butt.
I don't have to worry about two hungry cops out for themselves.
You can't buy us, and you know it.
I got where I am by having punks like you for breakfast.
Hello, Keneely. I've got a message for you.
I understand that vitamin E will clear this up almost overnight.
And something else struck me immediately on my my viewership of Busting. And I rarely hear people talk about this, and it's the film's use of subtext. On the surface, I mean, the context is clear. I mean, it's 1976. Vietnam is still fresh. The sons of the good old boys have come home disillusioned and forced to reckon with corruption, not just in government, but in the broader American system. And some of them become cops because they don't know what else to do with their lives. They remain inside the machine that failed them, and Busting quietly comments on that reality. That's the context. Gould's apartment door. There's a scene about at the start of the second act in Elliott Gould's characters. They're in his apartment, and you're seeing pictures and old photos, and all of those things suggest that he was a high school football jock who went off to war, and he came back changed. That's the context, all right. But the subtext goes further, and it turns Busting into a secret superhero origin story, funny enough. Gould's character is the emotional center. Blake may be his partner, and the film lives squarely in this sort of buddy cop genre piece. But it's Gould who undergoes the internal conflict. And the question is very simple. Is he going to play the game, as his police chief warns in the first act, and that game being a justice system that's obviously compromised? Like they bust this $10 hooker in the opening scene, and she's back out the same day, and that pattern escalates all the way to the top. And like they're chasing after this crime boss. They know that he's the crime boss. We know he's the crime boss, and yet he walks on a technicality. This is sort of the trend that's repeated throughout the film. And depending on where you stand, Gould and Blake are either heroes willing to bend the rules to catch the bad guys, or they're corrupt cops who just need to get in line and play the game. And the irony is, if they did play the game properly, their lives would be easier and the movie would be shorter and much less interesting. And their fatal flaw is their obsession with justice, right? That's the thing pushing the story forward is they're obsessed with justice, and they want the bust at any cost, hence the namesake, and that obsession is both their strength and their undoing. And this is where the superhero layer emerges, because Gould's character, he's surrounded by comic books. When you watch the film, I mean, they're in his apartment, and they pop up again during the bathroom stakeout scene. And even the main antagonist, the crime boss, he's mocking him by referencing Captain Marvel, Shazam, and essentially telling him he's not a superhero, that this isn't a comic book, and that due process exists, whether he likes it or not, blah, blah, blah. And it's almost as if the film is quietly building toward the moment where Gould snaps and puts on a mask and cape and starts delivering justice the only way he knows how. But that moment never comes. Instead, in the final act, he makes the opposite choice. He plays the game, and he allows the corrupt system to prevail. He knows the crime boss will walk. He knows evil gets to fight another day. And rather than becoming a caped crusader, he does something even more tragic. He puts down the badge. His voiceover as the credits roll confirms it. He walks away from the gun. He walks away from the shield. He walks away from the fight altogether. And I think that's why I see Busting as a superhero movie, specifically a superhero film where the hero rises, specifically where the superhero doesn't rise, but a superhero film where he's too morally exhausted to put on the cape. And that's why I see Busting as a superhero movie. Not one where the hero rises, but one where he's too morally exhausted to put on the cape.
Elliott Gould and Robert Blake in Busting. What this film exposes about undercover vice cops can't be seen on television. Busting.